Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. It's Christmas 2013, and where better to spend the holidays than in one of the most beautiful cities in the country. A destination of choice, young professionals are trading in major metro stress and suburban sprawl for this city's wide range of cool new and historic old neighborhoods. How about this? With more than 60 in the area, this city has over 200% more art galleries per capita than New York City. It's a beautiful city for sure, but don't let the pretty face fool you. Behind Savannah's historic facade are vibrant, forward-thinking residents and a progressive business community. Underneath the cobblestone streets lies 38,000 miles of fiber optic cable, with the fastest-growing port in the nation. Yeah, who would have thought that? And a booming tourism industry. Savannah enjoys a diverse economy that also includes manufacturing, healthcare, government, military, as well as a growing number of creative and technical businesses. Greetings, everyone, and happy holidays. It is Christmas Eve 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Up to the Tech Talk, we head south to Savannah as Tino speaks with Jerald Mitchell, Director of Emerging Industry for the Savannah Economic Development Authority, SEDA. Jerald joined the Savannah Economic Development Authority, SEDA, in 2010 and currently leads the organization's innovation and non-traditional industry recruitment effort as the Director of Emerging Industry. In this position, he works to attract companies in industries like digital media, film, energy, advanced materials, biotech, and industrial design, among others. He also works to attract investment capital in support of all companies, from startup through late stage. Savannah has a history of innovation and prosperity, from the invention of the cotton gin to the first steamship to cross the Atlantic Ocean. The city of Savannah has long been recognized as a location for business. Businesses and the people who run them are welcomed here with open arms. Find out more as Tino speaks with Jerald Mitchell, Director of Emerging Industry for the Savannah Economic Development Authority. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions.
Jerald, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Thanks, Tino. Good to be on.
Of course, I'm personally quite familiar with you guys, but let's let our database of now over 50,000 in on some of these secrets in respect to the quality of the work that you do. So SEDA, I think the first thing for those that don't understand what SEDA is about, talk a little bit about the organization and what you guys focus on. What's the mission?
We're happy to. So SEDA, or the Savannah Economic Development Authority, is Savannah and Chatham County's chief marketing arm. And what we do is we work to attract new industry to the area and to the region with the primary goals of attracting jobs and private investment.
Yeah, and how long have you been in existence? Is this a new initiative, or how many years have you been around?
Well, the Savannah Economic Development Authority has been around since the 1950s, believe it or not.
Wow.
It was initially established as the Savannah Port Authority, with responsibility for all things port-related and how that impacted the state of Georgia. It's one really interesting fact about our organization is that we're one of, I want to say, 10 or 11 constitutional development authorities, which means that we are literally created by and written into the state of Georgia's Constitution. So we have a little bit of I want to say leverage. I don't know that that's the right word, but we have the ability to act a little bit differently as it relates to our attraction efforts.
I was reading about the areas that SEDA is involved in respect to industries that you're recruiting, things like logistics, aerospace, advanced manufacturing, digital media, and advanced materials. So Are these areas that you would say are Savannah? We like to say in Georgia's TAG looks at things, we say where Georgia leads. Are these things where you feel there's a leadership position, already a lot of business? Certainly, I think everybody that's listening in today understands the supply chain logistics because of the port. But talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had success as a community with regard to recruiting targets in the logistics, aerospace, and manufacturing arenas. And a couple of years ago, we went a step further to, one, validate, and two, to better understand what we were best set up to do. And we took that step by contracting with the Stanford Research International Group out at Stanford University. They did a study to basically take a look at what strategic industries our community ought to focus our attraction efforts toward. And it confirmed some of what we already knew, which was that we were uniquely or well-positioned to pursue aerospace targets, logistics targets, advanced manufacturing targets, but it also confirmed that we ought to be looking at other industries like digital media, design, and advanced materials. So yes, you hear it a lot when you talk to different organizations, but we have validated one through our past success, but also through conducting research to pursue or to prove or further send us down the path that we're on with these strategic industries.
And I don't think you mentioned SCAD yet, but certainly when you talk about digital media and that whole space, that's another, I think, probably strong foundational organization that supports that.
Yeah, so SCAD has proven to be a really, really unique resource as one of the nation's top-ranked universities for design and the arts. We think that because of the human capital or human resource that is produced by SCAD graduates in the arenas of industrial design and entertainment arts, we think that it gives us some leverage as it relates to attracting and recruiting for digital media, game design, and also for the film industry. As you may or may not be aware, Savannah has done a really good job over the years as a location for film, but we want to take that a step further and build a better tool or a better resource to support film activity. That means attracting studios, it means attracting soundstage and other production capabilities that support that industry. So we're moving down that track, and we believe that film and digital media are going to move down that parallel path for years to come.
And so we talked a bit about your overall mission, and then some of your areas, your targeted areas. We'll say where Savannah leads areas. So how do you go? Recruiting is obviously front and center to what your mission calls for. So how's the organization set up to pursue that?
Well, we're set up in a couple of different ways, and what we were calling it, or what we've been calling it, is a fully integrated economic development model. And through that model, we've basically got the organization built out into three real distinctive segments. One of those is the traditional economic development activity, which is pursuing manufacturers, aerospace, logistics targets, and working with our existing industry to make sure that we don't lose solid companies that we've already got on the ground here. The second piece of that is our international strategy, which we've built by establishing a World Trade Center franchise, and in Savannah we've got the World Trade Center Savannah organization as a part of our group, and we're helping primarily existing companies in our purview and throughout the region to connect with resources abroad. The third piece of that fully integrated economic development model is the innovation piece, which is my primary responsibility, and that includes or entails working to build the right ecosystem for startup and entrepreneurial activity, and it also includes working to make sure that there's a higher degree of awareness for potential investment or potential investor or investment partners who may or may not have ever had knowledge of Savannah and what it could mean for that new economy type activity.
And so we talked a little bit about your background or your role, and less than your background, but I think what probably, for time's sake, what I'd like to do is jump into, Savannah. How's it positioned? So what kinds of things, if you're given the sales pitch for Savannah and looking for a company in one of those strategic areas that we discussed today, what would you say about, why bring your business to Savannah?
Well, there's several things, but to your point, in the instance, or for the sake of time, I'll be brief. But the quality of life, first of all, is unbeatable, or second to none, I guess is a better way to put that. The other things that I would say is we've got a relatively skilled workforce because of the existing manufacturing and logistics and aerospace presence. The other thing that people that are interested in southeastern locations should consider are, our ability to basically look beyond, traditional activity. Again, from an innovation standpoint, we are really working hard to further develop or build out the support mechanisms that can help small startup and entrepreneurial type companies to thrive. From an established industry or a solid traditional business standpoint, we've been successful over the years at attracting as well as making sure that we continue to support companies once they get here. The other thing to keep in mind is that Savannah is also surrounded by several universities that I think give us a unique ability to continue to grow a workforce to the level that potential employers would need. So those things, I think, make us pretty competitive. We understand that the industry we work in, being economic development, is extremely competitive from a local, regional, statewide, and national level. And we have to continue to evolve our model to suit that competition, meet it, and beat it.
So it's time for one more question, and I think it's probably appropriate to end on the TAG relationship with CETA and opportunities moving forward. So for our listeners, I think most people know, but we are now in not only Savannah, but in our quest to be a statewide organization, we're in Augusta, Macon, Columbus, and Athens. When I say Macon, I should say the middle Georgia area. And Savannah was actually the first location that we established and the first person that we hired full-time outside of the metropolitan Atlanta area. So what kinds of things are you looking to do with the, I'll say TAG Savannah, but then we can broaden it because I know you're working on some things with our group as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the relationship, in my opinion, between CETA, or the Savannah Economic Development Authority, and TAG is absolutely critical. One of the things that has been a true beacon, and I look forward to this being a bigger instrument or tool from a statewide standpoint, is the STEM initiatives or the activities that TAG is engaged in to support STEM education in our community schools. So that's one that's extremely important. The other thing that I think we have to keep an eye on is the fact that technology is going to touch every type of industry that we would want to attract, whether it be the traditional sectors or whether it be in the new economy or innovative arenas. So again, we're going to have a real good grasp, I think, on technology, on what's new, on who the players are, and I think that a partnership with TAG continues to build upon that. The second thing is, I really believe that TAG, in partnership with Savannah and other communities around the state, can really have a big impact with regard to investment relationships. And this, when I say investment, it doesn't necessarily mean at the startup and early stage tiers of investment. I think partnership with TAG can drive investment relationships between investors and companies at all different levels, whether it be seed, angel, or whether it be later stage. So I think that that's going to be really important, especially as we move into an environment in the state of Georgia where the Invest Georgia Fund becomes a reality.
Well, Jerald, thanks so much for the work you do at CETA and for your partnership with TAG, and looking forward for a great 2014, and thanks for joining me on Tech Talk today.
The feeling's mutual. Thank you very much for having me.